What can we learn from the sea slug about work-life balance? I just read an article in the Globe, the Boston Globe, and it was really fascinating. And I really felt that it was a pretty cool connection between work-life balance and these lessons that this neuroscientist in the 60s was doing some studies about the sea slug in California. And what they did was they puffed jets of water into their tails or at their tails, and it kind of mimicked a predator. And at first they recoiled and they went into defensive mode. And then after more and more stimulation, they got used to it. And their neurons actually physically changed so that they just it just became um, they became complacent. And the key word here is habituation. And that's basically something that just kind of becomes a habit. It's a repeated stimulation that just becomes normal. And it's actually a safety mechanism for all animals, really. Just like we habituate to ticking clocks, so we don't hear every single second hand hitting the clock that would drive us crazy. And the beats of our heart all day long and breathing and all these things, these stimuli that are constant, incoming stimuli that we can't focus on them all. So we need to respond to warning signals, of course, like in work-life balance. When you have signals that you're run down and that you're out of balance, you need to react to those. And so you don't want to be complacent about those. Now, most people say that the most painful part of poor work-life balance is not having the time for what's most important. And when we habituate to our poor work-life balance boundaries, we use up a lot of time that we could be spending more joyfully and more purposefully. And we start to not notice those warning signals. So here are some strategies to help. Increased awareness of what we're experiencing and what we're focusing on is key. And if we want to be aware, we have to deepen our focus. We can't just be on the surface level, like a lot of us exist on the superficial kind of surface level all day long, kind of just responding to other people's needs all the time. One example is when I do transcendental meditation, I often discover that I had a sore neck because I'm slowing down, I'm deepening my focus, and I'm going beyond that surface layer. In transcendental meditation, a big analogy they use is at the very surface of the ocean is very turbulent and choppy, or it could be, but always at the very bottom is still. So that's what you can do with your meditation. Move from this turbulent area down to that still place that is always there waiting for you. Another strategy is to nurture all the different hats that you wear. And, a lot of us are juggling between 15 to 20 different roles. But the truth is, many of us are only really juggling two big roles, work and then home. So you want to have that broad range of interests in different roles that you play. Could be hobbies, things that enrich your life, make things fun. I'm into backgammon. I really like backgammon. I'm learning about professional speaking, and I'm definitely a movie buff. So I like to learn a lot of stuff about movies. I get books about cult movies and history. I'm expecting a book about Jaws to come in the mail any day. I'm really looking forward to that. And that's called the Lovely, Lovely Shark movie, I think. I'm also a mixologist. So I read old recipes. I like to make old Prohibition era cocktails. So expand those interests, nurture those different hats that you wear. Here's an example of my role list. I have 23 roles here, and this is to give you an example of how you can use this deck. It comes with an hour-long course, and it will help you identify all those different hats that you wear. I like to show it because I'm really proud of this deck in the course. It comes with an hour-long video that's awesome that walks you right through all of these different, I think, very innovative ideas and unique ways of looking at your life. So here are the 23 roles that I have right now. Under the mind, body, spirit category, transcendental meditation meditator and spiritual being, 180-pound body, sage, a musician, wealth builder, and business strategist. Also, I like to combine similar roles if they fit in one category, like this wealth builder or investor and business strategist. They go together. Philanthropist, husband, dad, family, friend, backgammon player, movie buff, chef, healthy eater and mixologist, joker, writer and journaler, the Willy Wonka of creativity. And then under my professional roles, I have in-demand life coach, all the hats CEO and visionary, and world-class problem solver, number one hats customer and patient zero, social media whiz and participant, productivity guru, self-development expert, professional speaker, and music therapist. So that's just an example of how I identify my roles. So you always have something you're nurturing, something you're working towards and growing. That's really important. You can even turn web surfing or like doom scrolling into something empowering. And that's a technique I talk about in my course called Round the World. And this is literally web surfing with purpose. And you take a couple minutes for each role and ask a couple questions of Google or whatever search engine and be curious. Surf with love and curiosity for each role. And some habits that contribute to your mental wellness and physical and emotional wellness. These are things that will turn the tides for that sea slug that's learned to basically like learned helplessness. But you want to flip it and have your habits that empower you. You could read for 45 minutes before bed, listen to classical or jazz music, or any music that brings you beyond the deeper level, beyond that surface level. Music that might have some silence or some variety. Oftentimes, pop music is boom, 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 fast, not much variety. And if you have that variety, that will help. Pink Floyd is an immediate mental wellness trigger for me, and it helps me with all of my creative work on my laptop. Cooking, I like Skip-Bo now, like that game. Movies, watching a movie. I always do a 50 movie countdown for Halloween. And this year I'm actually thinking of doing a 100 movie countdown for Halloween. So one horror movie per night for 100 nights. And I'm looking forward to that. Because it's not just doing that every night. It's the research. It's making the list. It's asking other people what should be on the list. There's a lot of fulfillment that comes with it. Watching your favorite TV show. And try not binging. I never really got into binging too much. I think that takes the fun out of it. You have zero time to process or think. Try watching one episode a night. I always liked doing that for Game of Thrones and Sopranos when it was out. I looked forward to that Sunday night when the new episode came out. I actually think binging is something that people don't so much enjoy as it's more of like a bragging point. I binged this in, 2 days. I watched 8 seasons. I don't know. To me, it's not much to brag about. Regain control of your habits. Don't allow yourself to be silently beaten down by other people's demands. So, in closing, don't be like that sea slug. Don't habituate to others who are constantly nagging and poking and having their way with you. So, if you want to be more joyful, productive, and fulfilled, try out the course. It's available on my website, allthehatswewear.com. And as I said, it comes with an hour-long video that walks you through all of the different strategies that's going to transform your life. See you next time.